and welcome to another episode of the Dynamic Thriving Podcast. I am your host, Marianne Pack, spiritual medium into all things life transformational. And today I have a wonderful guest for us. Carol Tsacoyeanes is with us. Thank you, Carol, for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Marianne. It's so nice to be here.
I am glad you're with us. Carol's website is caroltsa.com, and it will be in the show notes. Carol and I met through Ladies Power Lunch. And if you ladies want to find a support group that their one rule is to intentionally support each other, Ladies Power Lunch on Facebook is the group to be in. So you can also visit their website, ladiespowerlunch.com, and we would love to have you as another member of our group. So, Carol, let's just jump right in. Who are you and what good do you bring into the world?
All right. Well, thank you. So again, Carol Tsacoyeanes, and I am a director with Ruby Ribbon. So my focus is helping others and helping women in particular feel more comfortable and confident every single day by ditching their uncomfortable bras for a healthier alternative. So that's my focus, and that's where I feel that I offer the most value.
I love that. Definitely speaks to the heart of us women and men. If you are listening and you have a lady, be sure and let them know about this episode, because this is going to be a really good episode for all of our beautiful ladies in the house. Carol is also a Ruby Ribbons director and stylist. So tell us a little bit about what that means. What do you do there?
So as a stylist, when you first start with Ruby Ribbon, you are taught how to help women get sized and find the right fit with our product line. And when you build a team of people under you, that you become a director. So I've been with Ruby Ribbon for 6 years, and I've been so blessed with such a fun group of women to work with on my team. I've been able to earn some fantastic vacations through our sales program, and but most of all, it's a sisterhood. So not only my team, but we're a sisterhood across the whole country, where we share ideas and we really support each other as we support women.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about Ruby Ribbon, because, some people may not have ever heard of that company. Tell us what they do.
Right. So Ruby Ribbon is still a young company. Back when I started it 6 years ago, it was really just beginning. And they're based in California. Their product line is, we have a lot of features in the products that are actually patented by our company. So that's unique in their product line. And, we have what we think of as shorter camis, the half camis, and we have the longer camis. So things that can smooth or shape and just support, and make everybody look better every day.
Yes. Yes. Don't we want to look better?
Yeah.
So, our topic today is how to build confidence as a woman. And we know, ladies, there are so many times that we don't feel good in our clothes, we don't feel good of how we look, and we want to feel better. We need to be supported in our foundation wear. And Carol is the person that we're going to get a lot of yummy information from. So, what problem do you help solve with your clients? What transformation do they get? What do they experience?
Oh, there's just so many things to address with that question. So we have sizing anywhere from 28 to size 50, all the cup sizes. Women come to me for lots of issues, whether maybe they're just heavy breasted and they can't get the right support. Maybe they've had back surgeries or breast cancer surgeries. There's all kinds of reasons that they want something that's comfortable that's wire free, because we know that's healthier.
Right.
And it can just solve so many issues. The straps falling down, there, bulges in the back. There's just so many things that, we have to get all the details, but spillage out the top, the bottom, the sides. I mean, it's just so many reasons that when I see the transformation, when women step in, because we step into the camis,
Mhm.
step into our products, and I've had so many women just cry because they've never been so comfortable. Like they just can't believe there's something that could make their lives better and easier and just more comfortable. Because what's the first thing that women take off when they get home typically?
Absolutely.
Right? And they'll forget that they have it on. So we have 5 levels of support, starting with level 1 being the lightest and like a barely there bralette kind of thing. And then all the way up to level 5 for women who are nursing or, like I said, are heavy breasted or need a lot more support. And then everything in between. So we have so many. When I first started, there were only like 2 choices. And now we have, I think, 15 collections of products. So it can be very confusing. Like if people just go to my website and start looking, it's rubyribbon.com/Carol T is my Ruby Ribbon website. And if people go there, I say, don't just order off of there. You need my services. It's really a service that we provide that's hard to find places. Like, where do you go to find the right fitting bra? Where do you go to have somebody that's been trained specifically on body shapes, body types, and can navigate you through all these options? You walk into any kind of department store and you see all those racks in all those sizes and all those styles, and like, where do you start, right? So you really need that personalized service that I think we can provide, that is hard to find.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm old enough to remember that when you went into a department store to buy clothes or, anything,
Mhm.
there was a clerk with you
Yes.
that like followed you around the store. I mean, that's telling my age, but that's okay. But I remember there were service people available to ask questions and to bring you another garment if that one didn't work out, and then stand at the waiting in the dressing room with you and check on you. Boy, it's all self-service now. You can't find a clerk anywhere. So to have someone like you present us with this personal one-on-one attention. You don't have a bunch of, when you're fitting someone, you don't have your attention scattered to anyone else.
Correct.
They get your sole attention, and I love that. So what makes this approach, what makes your approach unique, um, and kind of sets this? We already talked about the one-on-one service, but is there anything else that sets Ruby Ribbon and what you do apart from maybe what some other clothiers do?
Well, I think the beautiful thing that happened over the last year, as we all had to pivot with our businesses, is that not only are we able to do personal in-person fittings, so people can come to me if they're in my area.
Right.
And I have this room right here with my girls,
Mhm.
showing the different products, but I can do a fitting with them, in person. But now we can do virtual fittings. And there's a couple of different ways to do the virtual fittings where, you give me some information, I create a wish list for you. And then we review, whether it's on screen or on the phone. We can review that list together and say, here's some options that might work for you. What are you looking for? What are the issues that we're trying to solve? And how can I help you narrow down the list? Because it's typically a lot of choices, because if you think of what kind of foundations you have in your drawer, there's so many options for different outfits and different events. And then for every day for sport, there's a lot of choices. So we can narrow down that list so you can decide then what you want to purchase off the website. But I tell people, don't just go to the website and order. You don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're getting the right sizing.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are some of the experiences? Just give us a couple of stories about experiences that people have had and the transformation they received, the confidence that they felt, that whatever it was that just um, empowered them to live more fully into who they are. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. So I go back to when I was first starting with Ruby Ribbon. And when you're new at anything, it's a learning curve,
Mm.
right? And I had a woman call me and she said, I'm a 38 double J. Can you help me? And I said, I don't know. I said, I've got a bunch of things over here. She was in my area, so she could come for an in-person fitting. And again, this was 6 years ago. And she came over and, I figured out what size she was and she tried a couple things on. But the first thing she tried on, she came out and she was crying. So like, I thought, oh my gosh, it's the wrong size. It's hurting her. She's, what did I do wrong? Like I'm
Right.
a new stylist. I'm trying to learn. I said, what's wrong? And she goes, no, 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 you just don't understand. I can honestly say I've never been able to wear anything that's without a wire and feel so good. And I can't wait to get home and shop my own closet, which is a term that we use because you can go into your own closet and things that you haven't been able to wear for a long time now will fit you because they have the smoothing underneath. And that's where the confidence comes in. People come, they're like, oh, now I can go out in the world and feel so much better. We all know about, you think about the day that you get up in the morning, you're just having a great morning and you put on the outfit that's your favorite
Mhm.
thing and you're ready to take on the world, right? And you want that feeling every single day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I liked that you talked about, I know you can't make health claims and things like that, but you have got to have heard stories from your clients who have had pain alleviated or soreness or things. Can you tell us even a couple of little stories about
Mhm.
relief that people have received from
Yes.
wearing ruby ribbon?
It's actually hard to pick, but just recently I had a woman who had she had had a double mastectomy a few years ago, and she's been left with a lot of edema, a lot of fluid buildup, especially in one arm. And she has to wear like the sleeves, to help alleviate that fluid. And she said, I just don't know if you can help me. And I fit her into our demis and our camis, and she couldn't believe how good she feels. And she actually called me just the other day and she said, I'm going to need more of these. And I have a support group of women who've had mastectomies, her own group of people that she meets with regularly. I think they meet once a month. And she said, I would love for you to come and meet the other women in my group because this is what happens. My business is based on referrals
Mhm.
and repeat business. I can honestly say that's what happens. It's like, Marianne, when you try it and you say, oh my gosh, this is so great, I'm going to have to ask my friend, my sister, my coworker, my mom, my, anybody in my family, my friends. And suddenly you're introducing me to a lot of other women that are
Right.
in need. But yeah, so that was one example, but I've had so many women. I have another woman who has scoliosis, severe scoliosis, and she said she can't really walk without pain. And again, we're not making medical claims about anything. I want to be very straightforward about that. But she did put on the cami and she found that it gave her enough back support that she was starting to walk her neighborhood. And she told me not long after that fitting that she was walking 2 to 3 miles a day. And the cami was giving her support where she could barely walk to her mailbox and back without a lot of pain. And she said it was just the support she needed in her back
Yeah.
for the scoliosis. So that was another situation that comes to mind.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's things that happen to us, and you never know what it's going to do for somebody.
Right.
Either the confidence that they're going to feel, the physical, relief that they feel, whatever it happens to be. So I usually say our mess is our message. So how did you get involved in this? Because usually there's a little story around a mess that you had to deal with, and then moved into the direction of the coaching that you're doing, the products that you serve others with.
Yeah, there's always a story, right? So I have to back up. My background is in fitness and wellness. I have a master's in wellness and a undergrad in physical education. So I did a lot of. I was a director for, wellness wellness programs at different corporations and that
Mhm.
kind of thing. And then I left my career. I was home with my kids. So when I decided to go back to work, I was looking at different direct sales companies so I'd have the flexibility of not going into an office but working from home. So I started with another company, and that company closed their doors. And about the same time, Ruby Ribbon was starting up. So Ruby Ribbon actually recruited me along with a lot of people from the other company. And I think 300 of us came over as their initial sales force. And so that's how I kind of fell into it. But I literally said to my husband at the time, what, I'm going to do bra fittings now? Because I'm like, what, life just takes a right turn. And I thought, what am I going to do? Why am I doing this? And it took me some time to realize what happened was, I have a very strong a feeling of helping others.
Mhm.
So I've been a caregiver for a lot of people through my lifetime. And just recently, I realized how it all connects.
Mhm.
So I was asked to do a chapter for Success in Any Season in the book Success in Any Season. My chapter is called Just Add Water. And so part of my fitness background is teaching a lot of water classes, which I'm still doing, and anything water related. So that came up. But then I realized, as I was writing that chapter, that I just love helping people. And this is a helping industry. Like, I'm working one-on-one with women. I enjoy the getting to know people and their stories, and then finding a solution. What can I do to help you?
Mhm.
So that it's a helping thing. Like, that's where it all meshes together. And I
Right.
think that was where my mess turned into a business.
Awesome. I love that. So, Carol, how can people find you online, or where can they get a complimentary fitting? And also, I want to tell everybody, Carol's book is an anthology that the Ladies Power Lunch produced, and it is so she is a best-selling author, because that is a best-selling book, and it's called Success in Any Season. And we'll have links in the show notes for contacting her. So, Carol, how can people get a hold of you?
I think the easiest way is to go to my website, caroltsa.com,
Mhm.
and there's links to my private Facebook page there. I have a customer page, I have a business page, I have a YouTube channel. Um,
Very good.
there's just LinkedIn. There's a lot of information that you can go from that place to these other locations. And if someone wants a fitting, I do complimentary fittings, both virtual and in person. And the virtual fittings actually have two options. We use a sizing bot and also a sizing form. So I can use either one. And those are also right there on my website, caroltsa.com. I think it's the easiest way to find more information.
Find everything.
Mhm.
That sounds wonderful. Do you have anything else you'd like to share with everybody before we leave? Any words of wisdom for us, or encouragement, or encourage our confidence, or whatever you'd like to share?
Well, what comes to mind is that during this last year, when we're all just, trying to navigate through this
Mhm.
pandemic, it really is important for us to support each other in the small businesses.
Absolutely.
So I love to, again, back to helping, right? I love to be able to support people through Ladies Power Lunch, for example, all the business owners, and we all have different businesses there. And instead of ordering, from the big box stores, why not get that service and go right to people that have their small businesses and to support them? And I think if we all did that, it would make a huge difference in the way we can help each other.
Absolutely. I think that's part of collaboration that Ladies Power Lunch is very much all about. Supporting, that's that intentional support for one another. Or just like you said, you have clients that said, oh, you've got to come into my group
Yeah,
because we're all in the same boat. We've all had surgery, or we've all had this, or we're all mommies, or we're all, nursing mothers, or we're whatever it happens to be. Um, just being able to share Carol's help, because she is a helper, and that's what she's here, and that's what brings her joy, I am sure. So I want to thank you, Carol, for being my guest, and I so appreciate you bringing some health and confidence and ways to improve our lives and to feel better and to um, find relief. A lot of times it's just pure relief that we're looking for.
yeah, absolutely, Marianne. Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed our chat.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Dynamic Thriving Podcast. And as always, please be sure and like, comment, or subscribe. And we would just really appreciate that, because it helps our work go into the world to spread more joy. And as always, you're invited to visit our website, maryannpack.com, for all of our services. And if you have any questions, or there's ways to ask my spirit guides, the many, you can ask them a question, or you can ask for a personal reading. And that is on the Ask the Many page. So I just want to thank you again for being our guest, Carol. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Dynamic Thriving Podcast. And remember, you are joy, looking for a way to express.